Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to do a watermelon fake cake. So first you need to prep your cake by frosting it and letting it dry. And we've talked about that in previous videos. It takes a couple of days for this part to get hard. And then you can paint it all white ahead of time if you want, because this part and the borders are going to stay white. So I painted the white first. You can do it before or you can do it after. And you let that dry. Then you're going to need a green and you're going to need a red. And you're going to need white paint and you're going to need black paint. And I've been using these. They're fine. Sometimes I go, if I use a lot of one color, then I'll go to the local hardware store and I'll get a larger amount of paint, like latex or acrylic paint. And so if I use it a lot, then like I always get my whites in a larger amount. This is something I use a lot for my, when I do my cake slices. So I get this size at a hardware store. But some of the other cakes that I don't use the colors as much, I just get the small ones. They're super cheap. They're like 50 cents. And they last me a little while. So first I'm going to start with the red. And you're going to paint the red. I have my colors right here. Okay. So you're going to paint the red. You start with the top. And you're going to need 2 coats. At least here. Some darker colors need 2 coats. So I start with a fat brush, a thick brush like this. But you can use, I use a couple of different brushes. So to get in between the little rosettes that I put on top, I use a smaller brush. And you just go all the way around and you try not to touch the white, but usually I end up having to retouch the white after I do the red, because I accidentally brush up against the white. So you just touch it up a little in the end. You always like double check, make sure what it looks like, and touch up where you need to. Okay, so that's the top. And then for the side, you just go around like this. And this is going to need a second coat. But you go about a little over halfway down. So about 2/3, I'd say. You go down. I also have a pink version of this, and that one's really cute too. Okay, and then you come in again with your smaller brush, and you go right up at the top near the rosettes. So you could paint this first and then add the rosettes, but then the rosettes have a little bit harder of a time sticking to the surface. So when I frost the cake with spackling, I like to do my borders at the same time, because the spackling is not, it's still wet, and so any kind of piping that I put on the sides of the cakes, the borders on top and bottom, it just sticks better. So I like to do it all at the same time, but you could try it painting first. That way you don't have to get in between these little crevices. You could try painting your main color first and then putting the border on second. I don't like doing that. It's okay. It's not impossible, but I prefer to do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to go back over it one more time like this. Okay, and then I have a green that's already made. And so the green that I showed you right out of the jar, or right out of the little bottle, I add some white to that. So I've already blended my white in there. And the green is going to go right along the bottom. And I leave the bottom border white. And I leave a little space between the red and the green. And I grab a smaller brush. And then you always want to you dry the brush on a towel, because you don't want any water on the brush. And then I'm going to go in between the border. And you do this all the way around. And then I'm gonna, you do it all the way around just like that. And then I'm gonna let this dry. And I'm gonna add a second coat just to the red after it dries. And then I'll show you guys the second part to this video.